Hey parents, what's up? If your student is about to start the school year, this is the beginning of the school year, and you want them to have a strong start and they struggle with executive function, I've got 4 tips for you today. My name is Seth Perler. I'm an executive function coach out of Boulder, Colorado. I help struggling students navigate this thing called education and parents. I got 4 tips for you today to start the school year off right for back to school time in terms of how to help your student, your child, have a great school year, or at least to get started with that. Tip number 1, if your student struggles with executive function, what you want to do is help your child hit the ground running. So, tip number 1 is help your child hit the ground running. How do you do that? Well, what you don't do is you don't wait until after the first day to start getting ready for the school year. You get ready before as much as possible. What does that look like? Number 1, set up what I call the sacred study space. If you're not familiar with my work, sign up for my blog, check out the sacred study space stuff that I have. But you want to help your child start the school year where they help design. They have ownership and buy-in in terms of designing their own sacred study space. If your child tends to study on the couch, on the floor, in bed, which is the number one worst place to study, and stuff like that, help them really design a place where they can do 2 things. 1, remove distractions, and 2, maximize it for productivity and focus. So that is a sacred study space. So you want to hit the ground running. 1, you want to have a sacred study space. 2, you want the planner front loaded. You want to front load everything at the beginning of the school year that you possibly can. But in terms of the planner, what I do is I highlight out all the days that the kids have off for the entire school year. We do that at the beginning of the year. Put things into the planner like their extracurricular activities, like if you're going to travel this fall for Thanksgiving or the holidays, things like that. So you want to front load the calendar. You're going to hit the ground running when your child can walk into school on day 1 and their planner or their calendar or their agenda or their online calendar, whatever they're using, that it already has the important things in that planner, so that when they go in on day 1, they open it up, they can already see some things that are in there. They're already familiar with it. They've already worked in their planner. So hit the ground running also means having their folders really clearly labeled, with their name in the course, really big, clear labels, color coded. Their notebooks are all labeled. Now, I know that sometimes teachers are going to give your kid a list. Hey, for my class, I want you to get this. And they're not going to get that till the first day. But when I say hit the ground running, you want to have everything you can possibly have in place. Have the sacred study space ready to rock and roll. Have the organizational system with the folders in the backpack ready to rock and roll. Have everything labeled, their compass, their protractor, their backpack, and everything with their name on it in case they lose it, that it comes back to them. Have all the things done. So day 1, you want them to walk into their classes with some sense of what's going on, some sense of organization, some sense that their planner, they've already been using it, they've already been exposed to it. You do not want them to just go with a backpack full of random supplies that come from the list that the school told you to buy, and they're just haphazardly walking in and randomly maybe jotting some stuff in their planner or stuff like that. You want them really ready to hit the ground running. That is tip number 1. Do whatever you need to do to help them hit the ground running, so when they walk into those classes on day 1, they're actually ready to listen and learn, and they actually have thought through some things. Number 2 tip, if your child struggles with executive function, is make a weekly plan and post it on a wall somewhere. And what that looks like is that same concept. Your child has buy-in and ownership over designing their week. So they don't just go to school and randomly do stuff, but you actually make a visual, large printed calendar that looks nice, hopefully that they've participated in creating, that has their ideal week. The ideal week. This isn't something you change. This is just one. If you put it up on the wall, what does an ideal week look like? So, and you want to be as detailed as possible, not as detailed as possible. You want to be detailed enough so that they can see a general structure for the week. So, for example, you might have 6:30 a.m. wake up, 7 a.m. Go to school, and then just say school from whatever time to whatever time, and then maybe 4 p.m. relaxation time. 5 p.m. plan my evening. 6 p.m. dinner. 7 to 8:30 homework focus time. Whatever. If they have extracurriculars, plan that in the week. Friday nights probably is completely free when they get home. Hopefully they're not thinking about school at all, etc. Sunday night should be the Sunday night overhaul, overhauling all their systems, updating their planner, getting ready for the new week, closing out the old week, whatever. But you want to print an ideal week. That is tip number 2. Print an ideal week. You don't have to follow that plan all the time, but you want to have the plan so that your child can look at it and concretely see some sense of structure. Because if they struggle with executive function, they're going to struggle with imagining a useful structure, and they're going to be late on everything and really struggling for the whole semester. Number 3, advocate early. So if your child, for example, struggles with math, get the math tutor at the beginning of the school year. Don't wait until things get bad in math before you get a tutor. Start off with a month of a tutor. Invest in that time and in that money in that tutor to get a strong start rather than waiting until things fall apart. Advocate also if your child struggles with stuff, send a quick email, short, less than a page, bulleted notes. Hey, my kid struggles with these 3 things, and here are 3 things you can do to help. Thanks so much for being their teacher. I'm going to resend this email to you in 2 weeks because I know you're busy and still getting to know kids. And then resend that email a couple times. Say, hey, I know I sent this to you already. I just want to make sure you got it. And I know you have a lot on your plate. Hopefully you can read through this real quick. And here's what you need to know about my kids. So advocate early. And number 4, the number one most important thing in your child's entire life is their relationships. In all of our lives, relationships are really what matter. So remember that your kid's childhood, you got 18 years before they move out of the house in many cases, and the time is precious, and sometimes we get so caught up in the day to day and schoolwork and homework and all the things. Remember, the relationship's the most important thing. So plan for this fall right now. Plan with your child weekends or nights when you're gonna just do fun things with them, and look at the semester right now with your child and say, hey, let's plan in some times when we can really not talk about school, have fun, do some cool things that we enjoy doing together, and have quality time. That's the most important thing. So plan that in now for the entire semester. Plan in some times when you guys are gonna have fun and laugh and connect and build the relationship, which is the most important thing. Anyhow, again, my name is Seth with SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach out of Boulder, Colorado. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe if you want. Click the bell button if you want it to give you reminders. Anytime I put a new video up, it'll alert you. And subscribe for my blog. I give out free vlogs every single week. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care.